conversation of this morning. And it is a follow-up from our previous conversation on Tuesday, yesterday, right? So, how many of you have noticed that for the past 3 weeks or so, we've been having, conversations that's very similar to the previous one? I'm trying to see if I can exhaust everything concerning every particular conversation. But you know how these things happen. Something happens in society and we'll probably have a new facet, a new angle to take on that conversation. So before I continue, once again, I'd like to thank Samuel for taking a punt this morning and, trying his luck on one play. He's going to have 25,000 naira, all things being equal, by tomorrow. And the same can happen to you. Next draw will come your way by 11:50 a.m. this morning. So I look forward to having to call you, and you. And let's see how that goes. So get onto the OnePlay site. That's oneplay.ng, oneplay.ng. Get your tickets. 500 naira each grants you an entry. The more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning. Now, if you don't have a smart device, you can also use the USSD code, which is *347. Please, apologies if I've been coming across as too quick with these numbers. The USSD code is *347 *880 *6 hash. *347 *880 *6 hash. All right? Do that. 500 naira, and we're good. Okay? Good. Now, our final conversation is also about death. But it's an interesting twist on the death conversation. Now, yesterday, I did make mention about, burying people in rooms and apartments, and some of you were shocked. Others were saying, it's normal thing now, particularly for us when they're river area. The river, so we know they dig too deep. Sometimes, when you build a house, particularly when the person don't struggle, don't buy land, you now bury the person there. But here's the next part of this conversation. Okay, it's about the grief that we all at some point in time will experience when a loved one or a member of your family passes. When you break up, that pain you feel is a form of grief. But the pain you feel when you know that this person is no longer present, particularly for those of you who haven't or who have lost a father, a mother, a brother or a sister, or a wife or husband. These are very close-knit relationships, particularly if you were very close to them, not just because this person is your brother. No, you guys had a very deeply fulfilling relationship. When you lose that person, it can be a very, very serious pain. That pain is grief. It's a natural response to loss. I see dogs responding to loss. Yes, dolphins, elephants. Elephants have been known to come back to the same spot when one person died, a member of their herd died, and they will grieve for hours before they move on. It's a very real pain. But this morning, I ask you this question, and please listen very carefully. What do you feel? What is your take on those who profit from the grief of other people? What is your take on those who profit from the grief of other people? It's a natural response to loss, talking about grief. But in our time, in Nigeria, not talking about in Nigeria, right? There are people who make stupid cents of money or stupid amounts of money from the grieving families. For example, you can buy a second-hand casket. Did I hear you say what? Yes, you can buy a second-hand casket. Second-hand coffin. In some cemeteries, it's been discovered that when people come to bury their dead, you turn away maybe 10, 20 hours after you've gone, or maybe sometimes a week after you've gone. That particular grave is the corpse is exhumed. They redig it. They remove it. They remove the corpse. Sometimes they would even remove the coffin, right? And then they tie the corpse in bags, and then they discard it in another mass grave. That grave is now ready for somebody else to come through. You have paid. You pay the cemetery managers. You pay the grave diggers, right? You pay the mortuary attendants to preserve your corpse. And even in the hospitals, in those mortuaries, people still pay a lot of money. Now, on the surface, ladies and gentlemen, it is a very legal business because not many people have the stomach to go and clean and dress a body, prepare a body for a funeral, particularly a body that starts to decompose. There's a science to it. There are embalmers for it. But when you speak to some individuals who have had the experience of going to mortuaries, you find scenarios where the corpse of their loved one is left on the ground. It's not properly kept. Sometimes some of the items they had on their body was stolen, taken, pilfered when the corpse was deposited at the morgue. Or is it those who now get to the graves, and maybe they put a very fine shoe for the corpse, and then you find out that by the time you come there, they've removed the shoe. They'll sell the shoe. You now have professional grave robbers, sort of like what has been happening for the better part of 200 years in Egypt, where grave robbers will go and rob the tombs of the pharaohs to go and look for gold. People are now robbing regular tombs, making money off of the dead. And then you now have the same people who are trying to be legal. They tell you, pay for this, pay for that. When you pay, they say, because the body stayed 1 or 2 hours longer and we did not see you, there's a fine. I don't have a problem with rules or regulations. But when you look at the work done, it is not commensurate with the money you've paid for. Finally, as I open the phone lines, cremation is not popular in this part of the world. We like to bury our dead. But cremation is becoming very popular in other parts of the world where maybe land is scarce, or it has always been that culture to burn a corpse. Do you know how much cremation costs? Ladies and gentlemen, I am not here for you to be angry at the mortuary attendants or be angry at the grave robbers or be upset that real estate agents are now looking for properties to buy to turn them to burial grounds, and they're charging people 5 million naira for a 6x6 plot of space. I won't call it land. No. But when they see you shedding tears, being emotional, they have a job to do, just like the way doctors and policemen have a job to do. But it is worrying that in that state of vulnerability, that's why some people will say, now is the time. Collect money.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk. On 92.3 Nigeria Info.
017-923-0002, 0817923-0003, 0817923-0002, 0817923-0003. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. All right. Our WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 64 0809-030-6416. As always, please do well. Turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. If you didn't see or hear, make no mention of it. And very importantly, please do well to keep your conversations civil. So once again, the question is, what is your take on those who profit from the grief of others? When you are grieving, this is the time to know that, yes, we must make the most money. A journey that takes maybe 20 or 50 naira because of the grief, because there's a funeral, you spike up the prices. You want to cook for an occasion. When they hear that, it's not, well, let's call it Owambe. It's a funeral Owambe. The prices tend to skyrocket. You've just buried your dead. That's the time when some landlords will come and remind you that this man that just died is owing me 250,000 naira. Now that your family members are here, please, people should bring my money. Yes. Maybe or maybe not. That's true in terms of the amount of money, but it has happened, ladies and gentlemen. And sadly, for some, it continuously happens. When somebody dies, it's like the vultures just come around. There's, quote unquote, money to be made from the dead. And like I stated, they are legal businesses, and all of these businesses, they offer a service. Not many of us are very comfortable near a corpse. Not many of us know how to clean a corpse or dress a corpse in preparation for a burial. So these people have to be paid their fair wage or their fair, amount for the services they render. However, it does seem that at this point, when most families are in grief, there seems to be a lot of vultures coming around to make money off them. What's your take on those who profit from the grief of others? 92.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ajis.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. This is Mr. Anjaku Chinedu calling from Port Harcourt.
Welcome, Chinedu.
Okay. Based on the story you are painting here, that you're saying, I want to even add something to it. What the situation of hospitals? Sometimes you see someone who have a very big injury as a result of accident, and they rush the person to hospital. Instead of the hospital people there, the doctors and nurses to attend to that particular accident that occurred to that person, they will start demanding for money. If you don't drop money immediately, they will even attend to such situation. Go to government hospital, private clinic everywhere. These things are happening. So it's not a new thing in the society, but I can say that everything boils down to people's conscience and the way people are being brought up. So that is my take on what I think.
Okay. All right. People's consciences and the way they are brought up. Chinedu, thank you very much. This one here on my page says, good morning. Did you say that people go back and dig up graves after people have been buried and bury somebody there? Yes. Yeah. If you didn't hear me clearly, I'll say it again. There is bury to forget, bury to remember. That's the phrase. So you come for a funeral, you put the corpse there, all of you with your pastor and your whatever, you put pray, shout and cry, you go. As you go, rain falls small. They will come back, they will exhume that corpse and somebody else enters. 92.3, good morning.
Good morning, my brother Jude.
Good morning, please.
Yes. On this subject matter, my brother, have we thought about or considered those who want to show up in a flamboyant standard They don't want to be measured with the other man. Now they have made the money. They want to show up. What do we say about those people? Maybe you do a catering or whatever, or maybe as a musician you are called to play in the funeral. They want you to hike the price so that people will know that they've gotten the money. It's then conscience. Then where does that conscience lie? So you don't blame that person. They just want to show they have arrived. Oh, when this man was buried,
They
his
called,
cousin was hanged on the air for 3 days. So will you blame them? That's so whereby we are discussing all this conscience or no conscience. Let us consider that some people want to. Did you know this smallest generator? What is it called? I pass my neighbor.
I see. Interesting reference. Thank you very much. We'll go back. We'll come back after this break. Stay tuned.
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Actually, 11:34, getting to 11:35 a.m. So I'll get your ticket to do the one play draw very quickly. But before we do that, back to our conversation. It's about profiteering from grieving people. What's your take from people who do that? People who tend to make that particular experience the one they would use to make their own daily bread. I've been to I've been to the Port Harcourt Cemetery a few times, and on a few occasions, I actually met people who were fighting, the grave diggers who were fighting to dig someone's grave. And then when they eventually say, okay, we'll use these two persons, they say the money has increased and they have a union, they will have to pay this, they have to pay that. At there and then, right? Whatever agreement that you have, can change on the slightest whim. And those people, they are so happy they collect your money and they go. But those same people, after they collect your money to bury your loved one, will be the ones to come and dig it up again and then discard of the corpse. There are a lot of you who are listening to us right now. You know that you took your loved ones, your dad, your mom, or your brother, your whatever, to the grave site, to the cemetery 10, 15 years ago. But you don't know where the grave is. You don't know. Even those who would even cast it, sometimes they dig it up. They break it. So when people do these kind of things, like we had the call up before the break, said, look, what about those people who it is during the ceremonies they want to show off? They want to have very expensive funeral. Remember the funeral that was the talk of the country? Was that 2021 or 2022? That was somewhere in the east. I'm trying to remember the area now. Oh my goodness. Obi Kubana's mother's burial. A month before the burial, people were already talking about the burial. Weeks after the burial, it was still a huge conversation. I remember back then, a lot of people were saying, hey, let us see if the Queen of England's home will rival this one. People made that comment. Monies were spent. I had several cows in their scores were sent for that particular ceremony. People inflated prices to go there. People had no business there. It was more or less like a carnival. But some people were grieving, it would seem. My name is Jude. Welcome to your conversation station.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Hello, Port with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Zero 017-923-0002, 0817923-0003, 0817923-0002, 0817923-0003. All right, at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info. PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. Our WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416, 0809 030 6416. We're talking about the commercialization of grief. And I ask, how do you see people who make money from your grief? They have to make a profit. They have a life to live. They're providing a service. Yes. Does that make you comfortable? Or do you think, like some of the callers I made mention of, it's a thing of conscience? All right. WhatsApp 0809-030-6416. Drew, good morning. These days, as everybody gets to post everything on social media, I think my biggest worry are those people who are doing exactly what you're doing. We have apps and logs that will make sure that you get to see a particular content when you are happy, when you're sad, or when you're even grieving. I was surprised when I was looking forward to having my burial done and I was looking for material. I started to see more materials about grief, more materials about getting to deal with grief, and offers for me to buy books to handle my grief. People are now callous, making money off of the tears and pains of others, even on social media. Zion is on the line from GR. Zion, good morning to you.
In the history of mankind, this is the most pathetic era we found ourselves. If there is no market for such, will people be there? Jude, I don't know how long you have studied the times. This is an era that people don't even mourn their loved ones. Some find it difficult to even mourn his wife. Wives find it difficult to even mourn their husbands. So what will they do? Is to pay people, come and cry for us.
Oh, we have that tradition. Was a lot of African communities. They have what do you call them? Professional criers, mourners.
Mourners.
Yes, professional.
Do we even have such a thing?
Hey, it's an African thing. It's in Ghana. It's also in Tanzania.
No, they only refine it and commercialize it. The original African character don't behave like that.
Interesting.
They don't behave like that. Whoever you see that shed tears on that day of the burial, check very well. It's either this person is related to the disease or the disease has impacted in the life of this person. You see the tears that comes out of these people. They mourn with grief, with pain, with anguish. They miss person. But today, sir, except we search our conscience, except we look beyond just monetary, it's everything just money. It's just a mammon.
But Zion, not everybody can clean the corpse. Not everybody can dig graves. Not everybody can dress the corpse. Not everybody can even drive the hearse that will take the corpse, to the burial ground. These people need to be paid.
Jude, those things are not needed. Where I come from, beyond just volunteers, there are people specifically for that. You don't pay them. You only appreciate them. Thank you for doing this for us. Thank you for doing that for us. We are a community. The dead, you see, people don't even understand death. They thought it's just ordinary, go bury you, waka comot. It's deeper than what you see. Sir, before my father died, he told us something. You people should not cry. If you try that, I'll be angry with you.
He's already dead.
He's already dead. And me, I've also imposed that to my own family. If I die, don't bury me. I don't want it.
Well, what do you want them to do to you? To your body?
You cannot bury me with liars, thieves, hypocrites.
Liars.
Don't bury me with such people. Crafts and ritualists, don't do that. I told my family members.
What?
But the very first day I told my wife this thing, she was scared. Don't tell me, go and tell your people. I said, don't worry, go and ask them, they will tell you. I don't want this wickedness. I don't want to join them. You bury me with a liar, bury me with a sleeping people wife, bury me with I think no.
So what should they do to you? They should throw you in the ocean?
Cremate me.
Oh, cremation. Oh, okay.
Except if you cannot have access to what happened to me. You can't have access to it. The truth is this. In this level of burial, the dead and the living, there is a vault, a line in between. And that is where most of us fail. So if we are going there because of they want to pay you, you now stay at the cemetery gate. And I get this one I won't bury. They collect 2,000 naira. Now we go wash the corpse. So we go collect 4,000 naira. Check the lives of those people. Mr. Zion.
Well, we have Rejoice on the line from Eche. Rejoice, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, Mr. Jude.
Good morning.
Sorry, I know this might not be an eyewitness report, but I have an emergency at hand right now.
And what does this concern, please? Wait, are you the one that sent us a message about Egbo Eche?
Yes, please.
Okay,
yes, is currently going on.
All right, so we've passed the message across. I've already done that. I've passed the message across.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Okay. All right. I'm passing the information across. As soon as I thought about 3 minutes ago. All right, so I had to do that. All right, let's wrap up because we have one play draws to do. Number 3, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Wellington from Africa.
Welcome.
The truth of the matter is, the real African culture has gone in terms of real burial. Like Diana said, let me add a little bit. There is no value for human in the family anymore.
Really? Sure about that?
That is not the truth. You know an impact of an individual in a family or in a society. It determines the level of participation of the community. People just do things anyhow. When somebody dies in a community or in a family, you do not know his value in that particular society. It's not about money, but no money. You get money. You get money that time. You no longer value people in terms of their impact in the society.
So let me ask you, sir. Those people who have to dig the graves, those people who will have to dress the corpse, those people who have to drive them, don't they need to be paid? That's a legitimate.
Because you, as an individual in that community, you have an impact in the community. There are things you do for community. There are things you do for the family. You have a value.
Yeah, but in a city like this, we all don't know everybody. So that's why we need professionals to take care of these things.
In a city like this, as you're already, are you not making an impact? Don't you have a value? Your radio, this radio is on city. People know you. There are people, just when your age, when you die, they come there voluntarily. They do things for you voluntarily. That is why you must create value in wherever you are. In this part of the world, we have lost that consciousness, that mindset. That is why we are suffering. And it's impacting on our society, in our politics, our day-to-day life. We see humans as nothing. That is the problem we're having today in the society. In those days, you don't just do things because you want to do. You do things because you know there are humans around you. Thank you and God bless you. Wellington from Okrika.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Interesting view there from Wellington in Okrika. Jude, good morning. They are called wailers. Thank you very much. Not criers. Professional wailers. Your topic is very interesting. No matter how much we talk about it, it still happens till tomorrow. Cremating is expensive, but assuming it becomes a regular practice in Nigeria, it will be far much cheaper and better. Unlike the Asian countries, Chiagoze. Okay, cremation is the way forward. Chiagoze is saying, one, it saves space. A lot of land is not going to be dedicated to just burying corpses, but it's a cultural thing. In the West, they bury. In fact, in all of human history, there have been burial sites. That's why, if you didn't know, the pyramids exist. They were basically tombs. They were basically tombs for pharaohs, for the really, really important pharaoh, who were seen as gods, by the way. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good morning, Jude. Please, we have too many people speaking emotional about this issue. Do you want the corpse to be treated properly? Get a professional. Do you want the grave to be dug and even cremated in a very sane and civil manner? Pay for the right people to do them. I'm a big believer that everybody who has a service should be given his equal value. Where I have a problem with Nigeria is we like to show off. And that's why people do things extravagantly, particularly at weddings and funerals. Okay. I see where that sentiment is coming from. Fair enough. Let's wrap up. Facebook at Nigeria Info, PH at Nigeria Info, PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info. PH, commercialization of grief, is our topic this morning. All right. Good morning, Jude. Anybody who does a job willingly should be paid their rates. But we have a problem is where people start to use that opportunity to fleece other individuals. Hospitals have done this. Burial grounds are doing this. Even those who drive the vehicles, they're called hearses, by the way. Yeah. Oh, I was meant to give a word for today. Oh, let me quickly do that. Maybe hearse should be the word for today. Since we're making use of it right now, talking about it. Hearse. All right, let me spell that for you. Hearse. 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 Call it ambulance. A burial ambulance. No, it's not a burial ambulance. It is a hearse. All right, it is a hearse, a vehicle for conveying the coffin at a funeral. All right, so those long vehicles, whether they're SUVs or wagons, as long as it's specifically designed to carry coffins to the burial site, is called a hearse. So please, that will be our word for today. Hearse. Hearse. All right, please don't forget it. Hearse. 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 All right. Let's quickly get to one play now and do a final draw for this morning. Right? Conscience. That's what everybody's been saying today. We've sold our conscience. Conscience munchance.